3 things I wish I would have known when starting my real estate journey that I'm going to share with you guys now. And if you're new to my page, my name is Diani. I've been investing in real estate for over 20 years. I've been extremely successful at it. And now I share my tips and tricks with you guys so that you can not only build generational wealth, but garner a life of freedom that gives you time and financial freedom. And those two things are super important to me. The first thing I wish I would have known when starting my real estate journey was that creativity reigns supreme. Everybody says cash is king and credit is queen, but the reality is if you're creative, it is everything. Your creativity from financing to what you do to make money in a property is going to make or break you in this business. An example of this might be for me, I know that reserves are important. So one thing that I've started to do when I buy a new property is instead of waiting for the rent to roll in for me to build up my cash reserves, I will get the seller to maybe give me a credit towards my reserve in the form of an addendum on the contract. Now, this may look different depending on what type of loan product you take out or how creative your agent is willing to be when they're talking to the other agent, because you definitely need somebody who's willing to do a lot of work, or maybe not a lot, but a little bit of work here. And it makes a huge difference. The property I'm about to buy now, I got under contract for $187,000. I know that it needs new windows. I could take a construction loan. I could take a hard money loan, but instead I upped my price to $207 and got the seller to give my contractor $20,000. Now with the settlement company, I'm able to break that up so they don't get it all at once. They'll get it in draws, but they'll get those draws from me. It allows me to do a lot of things. It also allows me to work on other projects, which I think is great. The second thing I wish somebody had told me was cash flow versus time per hour or dollar per hour. So a lot of times when, people, I look at other people's videos and they talk about analyzing a property. They might talk about, oh, the cash flow after all your expenses is $500 a month, which on a rental property, especially long term, is phenomenal. However, some things to consider is how much you want to make per hour in this business, because this is a business, especially if you're self-managing. So for me, my goal when I started out was $25 an hour. My W-2 job, I was only making like 17, 18. So $25 was huge. Now I'm a little closer to $100 an hour for my time. So I know that if I've got to spend 5 hours a month on this property, it's got to cash flow at least $500. If I've got to spend 10, the cash flow isn't so good anymore. So I've got to take into account or into consideration how much of my time is this property going to require of me once it's stabilized. Now, before it's stabilized, you do have to spend a little extra time, but you want to make sure you're getting that money back on the back end as well. And last but certainly not least, the third thing I wish I would have known when starting my real estate journey was that good today doesn't equal good tomorrow. Every year, every few years, you need to be reevaluating your properties, running numbers just like they were brand new, and asking yourself, would I buy this today? Not only because the property dynamics are going to change, the rent market might not be increasing the way you wanted, or the appreciation might not be happening, or it could have happened more rapidly than you realize and you're not getting a return on the equity. Also, as your portfolio grows, your experience will grow, your criteria will develop, and the property you bought 2 years ago may not be something you would buy today, and you might want to sell it off to get something better. These things have to be looked at because they're what's going to keep you successful. If any of this resonates with you, or if you have more questions, please let me know in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. I'm more than happy to make a video about them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow, and share with somebody you think this might help. Talk to you guys soon.